Okay, in today's video, we're going to discuss the Metatrader profiles functionality and how to set up your charts so you can view 7 charts at one time on any time frame. So here's an example of the Canadian dollar pairs. New Zealand dollar, Canadian, Canadian dollar, Swiss. All of these pairs have the Canadian dollar either as the base or cross currency. You can see 7 charts at a time. And this is the D1 time frame. So by looking at the D1 time frames, if all the Canadian dollar pairs are going the same way, you can quickly figure out what direction you want to trade and on the bigger time frames to see if the Canadian dollar is either strong or weak, or in some cases choppy. So on Metatrader, we're going to be looking at the following menus: File and then Profiles. Several profiles are set up, including the default profile. Then we'll be using the Charts menu with the templates. We have one template here called the Free Trend Indicators, and we'll show you how to apply those quickly and load a bunch of charts up with the Free Trend Indicators. And then the other command we're going to be using is Window and Cascade. When you have a bunch of charts on your screen, when you're setting them up, you'll have a bunch of charts all over your screen. Just hit the Windows Cascade button and it'll arrange them in perfect order like you see here. Okay, to set up one of the profiles, just click on the Files tab, go to the Profiles, and you can click on one of the default profiles. Now these charts aren't set up yet, so this is the Canadian dollar pairs, okay? And we can set them up on any time frame. So just click on any Canadian dollar pair, put in the chart window. Okay, now you have a bunch of charts that are all messed up all over the screen. So what you do is just go over to the Windows tool menu and just click on Tile Windows. There's your hotkey. Boom. So what you want to do is set up 7 different pairs with one common currency, in this case the Canadian dollar, so you can see them all at once on your screen. Now to set up the trend indicators, you're going to go right click and you're going to click on template. You have to set this up in advance on the templates. Click on Free Trend Indicators. Free Trend Indicators. And now you're set up across the board. Just add a few more charts and you've got your Canadian dollar profile set up. And these trend indicators, we'll show you how to set these trend indicators up. In a second, we'll show you where to find. It's just some 5 and 12 time period exponential moving averages. Okay, so let's show you how to navigate through the profiles. Click on File and then Profiles. There's 2 ways to navigate. You can click on File and Profiles and go from this default profile right to the next profile. It's Canadian dollar pairs on the D1 time frame. Or go to File and Profiles. Look at these 2 buttons here for Next and Previous. These are your hotkeys. You just go to your keyboard and hit Control and F5 at the same time, or Shift and F5 at the same time. And if you have different profiles set up, you can navigate through all of them, 7 charts at a time, very fast, very fast, 7 at a time, just by clicking on the hotkeys, and this is probably the way you should do it. So here's the Canadian dollar pairs again. You can navigate through the Canadian dollar pairs, US dollar pairs, British pound pairs, Euro pairs, and just get a quick view of the market, and you can tell immediately what what currencies are strong or weak. Like you can tell if the US dollar is strong or weak, or if the Canadian dollar is strong or weak. Just by looking at the D1 trends, you're already starting to get a very good feel for the direction of the market and what direction you should be trading. Okay, so this particular Metatrader profile is the Japanese yen pairs all set up on the M15 timeframe. This is your intraday timeframes for entering trades. All these are on the JPY pairs on the M15 timeframe. So in this case, what you do is you check our push alerts system in the forex heat map, and if the Japanese yen is weak, all of these pairs will be rising on the smaller time frames. Then you can line up the Japanese yen pairs on the smaller time frames, just like you see in this photo here, all 7 of them. And you can figure out which one is the strongest and moving up the fastest and enter a trade on that pair so you can sort through the JPY pairs for your trade entries quicker. Then you can just look at the profiles for the higher time frames on the JPY pairs to check the trends. It works the exact same way for 28 pairs and 8 currencies. So remember, you're setting up your charts, the Metatrader profiles, on the smaller time frames plus the forex heat map to match an individual currency. You have one common currency. So you can set up a Metatrader profile on the shorter time frames like the M15, M30, plus the forex heat map for your trade entries. Here's another example. This example is the Canadian dollar pairs, okay? And you want to set up all the Canadian dollar pairs on one profile, just like I showed you, and you can set up the shorter time frames to match the forex heat map, and you can set up the Canadian dollar pairs, or any pair for that matter, on the higher time frames. So set up your USD pairs just to do your market analysis, trend analysis, and overall market condition. So either the US dollar is strong, weak, or could be choppy, and you'll know that immediately because you're looking at all the USD pairs at once on one screen. So if the Japanese yen is weak and all these pairs are moving up, you'll see it on the smaller time frames. You'll be able to enter a trade, and you'll be able to pick the best Japanese yen pair to trade. This is the euro yen, Swiss yen, pound yen, the one with the strongest and cleanest movement, and you will substantially add to your pip totals with the Metatrader profile set up on one common currency. This is the best chart setup that any forex trader can use, because if the Japanese yen is strong or weak going in a direction, you'll be able to see it clearly on one screen. So this is your Metatrader profiles set up for individual currency analysis, short time frames or long time frames. And this is from forexearlywarning.com.